Please click the thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and the bell notification. Thank you. Please click the thumbs up, like, and subscribe, and the bell notification. Thank you.
Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live. Oh, time. Me ready.
I Mixup An Blenda time. I'm want to call and talk up the King's day.
That's the reason I'm done with him, because I see the boy out there to get up here with the same Raga.
Well, the boy have you and the girl have beard with the same red rock?
Yes. Raga.
Yeah.
Beside the girl with the next side of story about the red Raga. Then people that look at me and say you're Aganeering because the way we are.
Yo, that word them mad. Aganeering. Aganeering to the flipping world.
Hi. Ragashanti, I the Mixup daddy. Hallelujah. Ragashanti go on and on. Yes, Ragashanti. Do you know how Richie feelings this, right? And you know me have to listen to your program because you talk a crocus bag of things with scandal side of it.
I Mixup An Blenda time.
Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live.
I Mixup An Blenda time.
Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live.
I Mixup An Blenda time.
Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live.
I Mixup An Blenda time.
Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live. Check. Lego. Big up on yourself and the people. My name Ragashanti, Mr. Wash Belly and thing once enough respect on Massive and crew. Big up on yourself, the whole of Jamaica and the hours here and thing. You don't know Ragashanti live on the Big Back Bridge 99 FM. Larger proof for larger, bigger proof for big up all who over so, up so, wrong so, down so. Well, we're not really too big up who under so, you know. But we big up who, you know, forward so and, you know, all kind of so and them thing that. Big up on yourself, people. Boy, me I tell you some idea them busy, you know. And then, you know, come down in the 90 and all these things and whatever, and really if you go seal up in 90 with a little kickback and a reasoning and so forth. Well, I give thanks. Me have a tambourine, man. All right, so I don't know the level is thing, just call in 876-676-4996, 876-676-4996, 876-676-4996. Call in with the one call in about, and all these things I make a whole look of reasonings and medzing. So you that one up here now, this American woman, she there with a Jamaican man. And she love her gardening. But the Jamaican man is a, you know, I want hour like it I say, you know, them article, I know street man, you know, but them go church and them something. But him still have the way they call it now, you know, the kind of traditional, you know, typical Jamaican man thing. So anyway, she have a heap of flowers. Like, you see them yard, and one of them yard, the way, when you go up on them road, when you reach for them yard, I just bare flowers, because she into flowers. Her yard was pretty. Bare flowers. And like it just stand out from everybody else yard. Once you go up on them road, it just stand out. Just into our flowers and thing. And so she said, a brother helpful. She said him very helpful. Very helpful. But she said him not help her with gardening. Cause him say, Jamaican man not do gardening. So she asked me about that. So my response to her, I don't know if you agree with me, is that that it's not true that Jamaican men do gardening, but that is very uncommon around Jamaican men. So, but if you were to make a general statement and say, do working class Jamaican men love gardening? You know, only God can tell you him call in all the while and say him do gardening and them something. So you have some man, them know the plant world and thing, you know them look at something there, but it's not gardening in the way she talk about gardening. Right? So, most Jamaican men, them not into gardening like you plant pretty flowers and them something there and thing. But so in that sense, him can't just say Jamaican man not do gardening. But he's right if you just generalize and say, in general, are Jamaican men into gardening? In my opinion, the answer is no. So you can't say, you can't say Jamaican man not do gardening. You have Jamaican men who, take care of flowers and them plant of them something there and whatever and thing. But like me born and grow a ghetto, right? So I've lived in different communities where Jamaican man we just say, yo, I could clean up a place, man, and then we just brush up a place and weed up a place and thing and clean it up and we could plant some flowers over here so and to make a place look, decent and whatever. So you have that something there. But to say like Jamaican men, if they're into gardening, like them yard, it's like them have a green thumb and them into gardening. Nah. Some man will plant flowers to make somewhere look good or plant some flowers and say, make yourself look nice or whatever. But they're not into gardening. They don't get excited about, a flowers are bloom. They know that's something with it. So I explain it to her. So, but I'm also explaining it to her that just like everywhere else in the world, Jamaica, a lot of things are gendered in Jamaica. And when you say gendered, it's just a fancy academic way of saying that there are a lot of things in Jamaica, just like everywhere else in the world, even though some place different from some, but there are a lot of things in Jamaica where, we think a woman mostly do them something there, or a man mostly do that something there, or a woman mostly do that one over there, or a man mostly. We have our cultural version of that. And for good or bad, Jamaicans are also continually preoccupied with signatories. Well, no, some people are starting about signature. Symbols of sexuality. And we have a constant intersection of gender and sexuality with, the activities that we engage in, every day and thing, right? Again, for good or for bad, right? Jamaicans, sexuality is just always involved in it, and you just have this aversion, with a lot of Jamaican men to, not to be seen as engaging in a sexuality that they think that they should not be engaging in. And they apply to all kinds of stuff. And sometimes it don't make sense. I hear a Jamaican man one time say, oh, me have to mind my pitney them, I have to take care of my pitney them, I have to take care of my pitney them, and when people go say me a batty man. And I remember thinking, like, wait, how the two of them relate? But it's just a Jamaican thing, you know, them just bringing them something there with things where you'd never think about. So I'm explaining to her that, yeah, some Jamaican man, them a go say gardening and something with them now and too, you know. And she said the thing is, here where it get crazy though. She said, them prayer, all the while, them great. Them said if them a go on a trip, she said them say prayers, you know. She said if enough time them a do things, them prayer before them grace the table when them a eat food and things. So she said them pray. But she said anytime she a kneel and she want him kneel with her, him said no, him not kneel and pray. Him must stand up. Him say him not in the kneeling. She said she don't understand. She said she knows it's not the prayer. Because she said he's a man in prayer. She said he's into praying and him believing in God and all of stuff. But she said, him man say him just now want kneel. She said what confuse her. She said if him a fix something in the kitchen or him depend the car, she said him not a problem a kneel. She said him kneel for all kind of other things, but him just now want kneel when him pray. So, now think about that for a second, people. Meds that, because I them look at something them I love and pray more time, you know, when people say certain things and then me just say, but you do it otherwise, so what to do, you know? But really think about it now. So she said if the man a work on him car or if him a work on a kitchen or she might do any little thing him a do and him a finish, him not a problem for kneel. But she said make sure them a pray and thing and she said more time she kneel and she said him not have no problem a pray either. She said them pray all the while. Them a go, she said them never go on a trip yet and them not pray before them touch it, them letter, you know. Sometimes she said like if one of them a go out and them a for, you know, out there whatever, them will just give a little prayer for guidance. She said the other one a go out and thing. So she said praying is a thing with them do. But him just don't want kneel when him a pray. And she asked me why I go. So I tell her, I said, boy, me not really able to explain that part that to her, you know. But because enough of it, no sound, no. So yo, you have some, there's this running joke like, yo, don't kneel, you know, whatever, and re. And kneeling also as you know, sexuality issues, cultural sexuality issues. I'm attached to it with this whole thing like, oh, if you're kneel, you're bow, and you know them look a foolish sister way. Jamaican men them argue about all the while. And this whole thing about like in a like when you grew up and thing or whatever, them always there is this constant thing with joke, you know? Like, yo, them boy, they kneel, you know, them boy, they kneel. You know, they look at something that whatever, like, yo, like kneeling is not a good thing. If you're a man, don't kneel. And if you're kneel, you're swipe, you know, them things they talk out. But I wasn't able to properly, I didn't think that I was able to, like, competently explain to her why him don't want to kneel when him a pray. Because the key point there is that she said, him don't have a problem with kneeling. Him kneel all the while. When him a do enough things, him kneel. But him just have this thing and say, yo, him not kneel when him a pray. Him pray all the while. So praying is not the problem, kneeling is not the problem, but him don't want to kneel when him a pray. So him say, she can't kneel. Him say, my man, him a Jamaican. Remember say she a Jamaican. So him say, Jamaican, and we not in a kneeling thing, but again, she say, him kneel all the while. Now, again, you know, feel free to dismiss it and say, a foolishness, him a keep up and whatever, but at the same time, I had an advisor in when I was doing my studies, and he was always telling us, his students, that there's nothing wrong if you dismiss something, you know, and say that a foolishness or... Him say there's nothing wrong with that. Him say if you see something in our culture a cultural practice amongst a group of people who, you know, you can't say, well, that is insecurity or that is foolishness. Or so there's nothing wrong to do that, right? Because he was just telling us, like, don't feel that you have to validate everything, you know. Him say, feel free to say something a madness or foolishness. But him say, what you must be able to do is to explain it from their cultural perspective, right? So you can see somebody that do something from a certain society, a certain cultural group or whatever, and it's okay to say, boy, I'm not do that, you know, or a foolishness that or a idiot thing, them I think. But what he's saying is just still be able to explain why they're doing it, what is the story behind it, what are the cultural meanings attached to it, you know, if you can know what's the source of it, and then look at something there, you know. So along those lines, you know, on a call him, but one want to call him, but if anyone on can explain or better explain why the brethren say him not kneel when him a pray, but him don't have any problem kneeling otherwise when him a do other things. But him not kneel with him lady, with him woman when him a pray. Why? Him not have no problem with praying, them pray all the while, but him just not kneel and pray. Him not have no problem with kneeling when him a do work or anything or whatever, but him just not kneel and pray. The gardening part, I could have explained little. I feel me explain that better. But the kneeling part, why a man no want, why a Jamaican, why would a man say, me a Jamaican, me not kneel when me a pray? Why go on this? All right, well, you have that or anything else you want to call about 876-676-4996, 876-676-4996, 876-676-4996, 876-676-4996. Call him, but whatever you want to call him, but I make we hear what I go on. I talk, whatever you want to call him, but and talk about, you know the drilling of the hours you see? Yo, people over in Manhattan, there, you know, the United Nations in a session. I want to know, so the United Nations headquarters is in New York City, in Manhattan, of all places. Them really need to give some consideration for put the UN someplace else in a prison, you know? Yo, President, anytime the UN in session in a Manhattan is a nightmare in a dog. People, you know him that. Just imagine, like, the world leaders for most of the country in the world. People, I shouldn't even say New York City. Let me just say Manhattan. People, Manhattan, I one of the most congested places in the world, ordinarily. It's one of the turbulent places of traffic, ordinarily. You don't even begin to understand the security issues over there. President, give me that call. I mean, can put it on, right? You want me to put it on? Huh? All right. Let me see. Are this my press? Okay, hello. Hello? President, this up? It's over here, so up? Oh, yeah, hello?
Yeah, Rob.
Yeah, Wagwan.
I think I must speak.
Yeah. Dan, don't make me hear the radio in the background, yeah?
Yeah, man. Check it out. Yeah, the UN thing there, I mean, Manhattan is a heavy place, period.
Yeah.
And with the unit, but
I make people understand. When it's a United Nations, right? So you have all these world leaders who are there, and once them dead, the U.S. Secret Service is responsible for protecting each one of them. Each one of them come with them entourage we need protection to. So each one of them have basically like, you know, them have on a one car. Them may have like 2 or 3. Some of them, depending on where them are come from, their security concerns are bigger. And just imagine, like most of the world leaders, most leaders some across the world, chuck up in a Manhattan, one little area of Manhattan down in the south of Manhattan. Like Manhattan is an island, people, a small island basically, right? And again, it's already congested, it's already crowded, the traffic is just already a nightmare there daily. And it's like when the UN is in session, it's like Manhattan is shut down. You just shut, that's like traffic is just insane over there. Hey, but what you say, Papa?
First thing, you know, one time I listened to your show and I see one and two people calling and I say, oh, I gotta stay so long with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I check back myself and I say, you know, sir, it's a form of therapy, Ragado. Yeah, it's a form of therapy because there's a man in Jamaica, I forgot his name. I always call him, what do you call him, oh gosh. I'm kind of sick sometimes, man. Oh my gosh. But then.
Kind of sick? Mr. Coombs?
I'm kind of sick sometimes.
Yeah, Mr. Coombs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So one time I listened to him, I say, Raga, about 20 minutes with Mr. Coombs, and I said, with the phone away, I'm vexing the Rasta. And I just kick back and say, you know, say, when me and Mr. Coombs are talk and I feel happy and rare, I say, you know, say, he's a farmer, as simple as you see it, you, he's a farmer therapy. Raga provide to this man in a sense. And you have to look into it and I say, yo. So I just say big up on that for all of the fans and people who you help, although it may long. But
no, it's a balancing act. No, it's a balancing act. So sometimes, depending on what the caller call, but you have to be sensitive to whatever they're sharing and what it means for them. At another time, you have to guide. At another time, you have callers who call and just think. Sometimes they don't realize, you know, but they are engaging in a content that, you know, is not necessarily something that is, you know, is not necessarily something that is interesting for the radio, but it is interesting for them. And then when they do that, now I have to be assessing, and it's a constant thing. I mean, I listen to them, but I assess, and then sometimes I have to guide them off. Then you have the other callers now who call and them just want to hang out on the radio, and them don't mean anything by it, you know. Them just get in this thing like me and you reason, man, so we can reason long. And then those know me have to guide them off and thing. Sometimes I call and not making any sense, and you know, whatever. But there are other calls that are so interesting that it is my editorial decision to like say, yeah man, this is a nice call for radio. Keep it going. And you know, like Mutty Perkins taught me, him say, radio is never about the callers. It's always about the listeners.
The listeners.
All right. So you see, even though you take call, your primary concern, remember I said one person that talk to you, you know, but your primary concern is the thousands who are listening. Is this useful to them? Are they enjoying this? How the program feel for them right now? So I am always doing those things, you know?
Yeah, so I say this to say that is a respect me I give you as a compliment on that.
Mm-hmm.
For you know, that farmer therapy that they provide to a lot of people and callers and who are listening. All right. Back to my little thing now. Me have a house. And the boiler break down one day. And me call a white guy. And him come to me and him say, is the damper. The damper is a part of the boiler where you just take off or whatever, you know. He says it's damper. He said, I can fix it for you. But me have to fix it as a side job because my boss really has sent me on the road now. I said, okay. But through the boiler now work, and the kids them there, I said, boy, you know, want he's okay, you know, cold in the house for the youth them. So I'm going to say, boom, and call her next. I'm going to call a Jamaican guy. Him come and charge me $200 to tell me say the damper and then charge me to fix it. Now, this is not the first time you hear me kind of talk about our people. And you might say it's a pattern of maybe me come down for our people too much. But our people come down on our people too much when it comes to the service and how the money. Because you see the white guy will come, he give me a card, you know. And he not charge me for tell me to diagnose the problem. You know, so all him want, you know, you see that card them give me? All him want to give me just one customer, you know. That's one customer. That one customer that cover maybe more than everything else. But we, as our Jamaican people, you know, if me know maybe me don't know your hosting in America, so I'm not going to that. But if you notice, most are a lot of Jamaican people who have houses, you know, so they have something to fix. Them don't call a Jamaican. You know,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I know you don't know that. I know you, yeah. But you have our own homeowner with other people.
No, I don't know what you Jamaicans call mostly. I don't know that.
All right. We, even in our church and people who have houses and stuff like that when we talk, we're scared to call our people, our Jamaican people, to fix anything. Even sometimes when we go to our mechanics, the service and how the money and the service we provide and don't respect people money per se. It's something where a lot of people notice in our community and said a lot of us don't have any, you know, like you see a lot of construction company owned by Jamaicans or a lot of other things owned by Jamaicans because, and I wouldn't say we're petty, but rather seriously when it comes to our business sense and how we deal with people and business and customer service. Brother, may I tell you, I don't know if you have got to keep a class for them to understand how to deal with people, how to talk to people, how to... That one card the guy gave me, one card, if I give to one customer, to even change just a damper again, and him get that white guy get $200 to show you the example of how we look. The guy charged me to diagnose it. Mentally.
Yeah, we have to take a break. But basically, I say, I hear two things. One, you know, with the money part, I think you said Jamaicans go too hard, and that you seem to be saying them unreasonable in how much them charge with the money part and thing, and like them a rush money. And two, you're saying, which you have raised before, that and again, and I'm glad you mentioned that you have raised it before, but you're also saying that Jamaicans have a customer service problem, right? That's what you're saying, right?
The biggest part of it is the customer service. We talk to people and the respect. Don't even respect your money per se. I respect you. You know, it's like when you. It's like some people go in a store and they see a Jamaican like the cashier and go to a different person. You know, I did it before.
I'm not so sure. Yeah, but I'm not so sure I would generalize that, and you know. What I'm saying is I have had very pleasant experiences from Jamaicans in customer service capacities on multiple levels, and they have been very great. In fact, I'm always pleased, like if you call, like say you don't go in a Jamaican store, but like you call, you know, T-Mobile and whatever, and then there's a stranger, you know, customer service person from T-Mobile or Verizon, and they just happen to be Jamaican, and then pick up the accent and them give that. Many a times I've gotten like an extra special thing, oh whatever, you know, and them go. You see them go a look at extra mile and whatever, and at some point, you know, them know so them have to be professional and thing like that, and so forth. But at the same time, I must admit also, like one of the things I don't like is I and I see it in restaurants up here, Jamaican restaurants, where they will do some things in some ways that you're like, yo, and they would charge some money for some things, right? And if you say something, you're met with women I like, and I find it insulting. Like you have a certain person up here, him love online and do that. If you talk but say, dog, your price, it's way above the average price of thing. The first thing come out of my mouth. And for support to no own man, and for support to no own, and love go to white man restaurant and no talk and whatever this. And that is beside the point. We are telling you, say, you think we are expensive than usual. Why you gonna try to give with this guilt trip now, like say we are do something bad and whatever. So I don't talk to him anymore, and I don't buy from him anymore.
Dollar extra for dollar extra for oxtail grave.
No, me don't not going on the deal. Me just say you have some of them now. Once you say, yo, don't, that not really look good. Them give you this guilt trip. But at the same time, I wouldn't generalize and just say, across the board, Jamaican businesses, them just, you must avoid them because Jamaica, I have had very pleasant experiences from many Jamaicans in many businesses in all my years, decades here at foreign, so I'd be a little bit careful with that part. But me hear your meds, and you're entitled to what your experiences and thing, and I'm sure there might be some people that listen and say, so I agree with him and all these things. So, we'll see how the thing happen out. But we have to go all look at break and all that thing. All right? See
man. Good to hear from you, my brother.
Don't say a word, my brother. My respect. Cool. All right, people, I go all break. We'll soon forward.
It's the Bridge 99 FM.
How you deal with?
Gonna leave.
Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live. All right, just before we go to the other calls, people like many of you, I too saw the video of our Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Waan, when he went up to now King Charles, for the Queen's, for the former Queen of England's funeral. And I'm well aware that there's a diversity of reaction to it. And some people are quite passionate in their discourse about it. And let me just say, people, full disclosure, the Prime Minister, Andrew, is somebody I've known for many, many years. And I know people, you only see him in a political light. I have known him to be a very pleasant, calm person, a very nice person. And politics aside, people, politics aside, honestly. Right? There's some people in politics, I wouldn't mention their name, but they just have awful personalities. I'm just saying the person, the individual, Andrew, the Prime, I've known him to be pleasant, and cool, and we have had some interesting conversations. I've known Andrew long time before, before he became even Minister of Education and all them something, right? And also, when you're in a leadership position, people, they can easily be armchair critics and don't know how many, interests you have to be balancing and thing. And there's a difference when you're just you're just an individual and you have to think of the country's interests and that you're the premier of the country, you're the leader of the country, politically speaking, and you have to be thinking of Jamaica's interests and and put his personal thing aside and do what is best for the country, and to say, well, if I don't do this, what are the ramifications? What are the possible consequences? And think there's so many things that goes on there that many of us don't know. That being said, I have to just quickly submit that I in this year 2022, And again, given our history with England, and given how England has jettisoned us in many ways, there are certain benefits we usually have that England has gotten rid of those and thing. And it was a little bit uncomfortable to see our Prime Minister like bowing to King Charles. It wasn't a deep bow, but it was nonetheless a bow. There was something chilling about that. And then his approach to him also was one that was the body language, the speech and everything. It was clear that, that it was the classic case. You're speaking to the king, and you're not the king, and you have to be almost like a supplicant. Yeah, like a supplicant. There was a degree of deference there where you're in the presence of the king, and there was this thing with him, this is kind of like you're in a powerful space, and it was clear that Charles was accustomed to being in charge and being royal and thing, and our Prime Minister came over, a little subservient, and then he went and said that pretty much Jamaica, and he made a statement about Jamaica and thing that everybody is we think the Queen is wonderful and da 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 and all this stuff and whatever, and I'm sitting there saying, nah, I don't think that way, and it's not just about myself as an individual. A lot of us in this year 2022, we have learned a lot, and we don't think that way. And so I heard him sending that message to the king, and the king, he agreed, and he's like, yes, I was reading all this thing from Jamaica, and my sister wanna really love my mother and love we and all these things and whatever. And I'm like, no. So, that is just my opinion. But again, I'm saying this, with an understanding that I know Andrew Onis separately, who I think is a very, very nice person. But I was just now talking about the Prime Minister of Jamaica as a representative of the Jamaican people. And in this particular context, we're talking about how much we have grown, how much we have learned, how much we have evolved, how we see things. We're still upset about stuff that happens for 400 years, and so many of that stuff is unresolved and thing. And I just got the sense that the Prime Minister wasn't, representative of those very salient and consequential issues, that many of us feel so strongly about and thing. But, we're grown people and we're mature, so we can have respectful disagreements. 876-676-4996, 876-676-4996. Hello, greetings. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, Wagwan.
Wagwan, Chief.
There, I know.
Friday night. The last program the other night, the person would call in to because of virgin there. I never pretty punchy.
Yeah, that was pretty punchy, yeah.
Oh, catch me like you explained something at the end of the show, that it wasn't her who made the call or whatever.
No. Adam said that she called him after them come out for the air.
Oh.
Yeah, only God can tell you, say, oh, Pretty Punchy did call me, but me know Pretty Punchy never call him. Yeah, but I don't.
You rather, you have met the youth, you have my right to your father. It's alien. Alien needs to buy that virgin there. But buy more red nose and one red tears in Christmas present.
Why? Why?
Buy him a red nose and a red tears in present.
Why?
Okay, he's rising for a fall, and you are supported to,
Me No, this is a man of faith. Hold on. This is a man of faith. The man saying pray to God. Listen, you know, see, Ilian too cute. I try to dry him with a defense. She a defend him, you know. And the man will not have it. I mean, they know you may try it. When him the call the first time and the second time, both times, I said, no, I think you get it wrong. You know, Ilian too cute was defending you, trying to protect you. And him in business. And thing, and him say, he right, him love pretty punchy and you know, and pray to God.
When same first name is Saint, C-E-N-T, Saint Nicholas.
Yo, let me tell you something. That just like, that threw me for a loop, man. Let me tell you, man, that nearly mashed that. Hey, when him boss,
what is the acronym for intelligence quotient?
IQ. No, when him boss it, I tell us, President nearly chuck off my chair.
No, for real. No. I can't see that challenge, because I'm not telling about the tall one. He said, no, what it means, but he have a bull on it, and me said, okay.
But somebody call in and said that Cologne the legitimate one, and then they tell with the name.
Exactly, the name. Yeah, but me say, if you read between the line, there's some ability challenge.
No, it's not really, you know. It's not. I know there might be an inclination to think that. Yeah. No, you know, you have to understand some rural Jamaicans, which from the way you talk, if I phrase it like this, you probably, you know, we can't pick up certain things, and you're a fairly reasoned, intelligent person. You have some rural Jamaicans, they function with a kind of simplicity that you will hear them call on radio. Remember, you're used to certain type of discourse on radio. So when they call on radio, you know, the degree of their simplicity and, you know, the way they reason and the way they talk, if you're not careful, you know, you can lead it on a path where you may give some consideration that, but is this person is not, you know, exactly. And like all the knives are not exactly sharp in the drawer. But what I'm saying, it's not necessarily the case. It's just he has a particular simplicity about him where.
Right, because each time you ask him, like, what am I to bring to the table? Fruits. Himself, what am I to present? To present himself.
Yeah, right, but that is his world. That is his world. And if you come from country, for example.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. You see, when we are country, which part, the deep, my gully country, everything when people are go over somebody and then bring a banana and bring some grapefruit for you and whatever, it's about fruits. That's the world.
Brother, the born and bred in Kingston, I'm talking about the country.
Yeah.
Always in the matter, and the pan. He says soon coming. He says sometimes I have to ask them from male or a female.
But even that, there's an explanation for it. The Akan-speaking people of West Africa, they do not differentiate in gender. That is where our patois come from, right?
Exactly.
It's from the Twi-speaking people of the Akan-speak. Akan is the broader range. And then you have the Fanti, the Twi. You have all kind, you know, the Ashanti and thing. You have different ethnicities and whatever. Yeah, and remember, you know, they translate. Our ancestors, they were speaking. They have them language, you know, sophisticated language, thousands of years old. But remember now, when they translate over, they're basically bringing their syntax, their you know linguistic constructions. So they translate and the languages don't really have no him or her.
Oh.
Them don't have no him or her. And people can better explain this than I. Well, I've heard people better explain it than I because they are the whatever. But I want you to understand that it's not by accident that they're speaking that way.
Traditional thing.
Right. It's not that, they're stupid and uneducated or whatever. There's a reason for it. This is something that, in Latin languages, Spanish, Portuguese and French and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If words are either masculine or feminine.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right? So, if them say, la mesa, it's feminine, the table, the table. But so when they are speaking English, their natural thing is to think about if this feminine are masculine or whatever, when we don't, because we don't really, them call
because
it.
Even the so-called bad word that them say here, with the research on it, and the word them come from Africa, them describe some part of the human body type of clothes that I'm wearing.
Well, we have some qualification there. But what I'm saying is, them call it the definite article or the indefinite. We're not getting at it, but just so you know, in terms of grammar, right?
Yeah.
Like
man,
like say, if you say the table, like it's definite. If you say a table, it can be any table. It's indefinite. But if you say the table, right? The definite article is the. But so the is the is modifying the table. So, but the definite article, the, it has to be masculine or feminine depending on what it's modifying. So if it's mesa, it's la mesa. But if it's man, it's el hombre. Hombre. Right? So it's la or el. You understand what I'm saying? And so in a for them language now, them have to translate, and for them instinct is for like for think about, with them the, which the me for use and the. And when them I learn English, you have to tell them, no, don't worry about the. Over here, the is just the. It's just the for everything. Just say the table, the man, the woman, the. You know if you think about masculine or feminine for the. You understand? So it's a similar thing now where our ancestors, and remember again, our patois come from our ancestors. Them never did have to worry about gender, so it was just one thing. So that is why you hear, Jamaican, a lot of Jamaican men, them, I say him for everybody. It's in the language.
And when the British them take over now, them start to change it to their language, so they have a mix-up between the patois and the English.
Exactly, and there's a lot of changes and things and patterns and things will change up in the language and whatever. Where if you're listening to somebody now and you're listening them from an English-centric orientation, you might be tempted now to say them stupid and them can't and them not chat properly and whatever, right? Like when enough Jamaicans love to say St. Elizabeth people not chat properly and whatever. Then when you talk to the linguist now, when I was at the University of the West Indies, their opinion is like St. Elizabeth have one of the richest, most beautiful Jamaican accent and language and vernacular.
Yeah.
But because of colonialism and where them teach we say English is superior because of that the white man bring female language come teach you. We judge people based on how much they conform to the rules of English without fully appreciating that we're a colonial society and we're in a post-colonial society now with a whole heap of mixture and confusion and whatever with them cars. Remember, you're in a Jamaica, but we're in a Jamaica, I speak language that is derived from Africa, but that is dominated and ruled from England. A whole heap of confusion that,
Right, exactly. Because Africa have the most language in
Africa is a continent. Africa has more than 2/3 of all the languages in the world. Africa is linguistically rich. So I'm saying we need to be careful when we judge people. And you know what I don't like to the double standard? Jamaicans will hear white people from France, this and that, speak the most awful English.
Like the English and call it continent.
No man. What me I say, them can't speak English and speak the most. And Jamaicans are accommodating, understanding, and patient with them. But when them hear our own Jamaican people now have similar struggles with it, them condemn them and then chat bad like we are do with him, we are do with she chat bad like, and we need to be careful of them.
And they make English so complicated. I notice Jamaican students pass Spanish and French and feel English. Now let's notice that enough.
Interesting. That's interesting.
Seriously.
That's interesting.
English is so complicated, one of the most complicated language and subject overall.
Oh yes. English. There is some famous things out there about how confusing English is and so forth and things like that. You know.
Yeah. Back to something else before it cut off. Flop and not spicy. You know that name there?
What that?
Flop and not spicy. The so-called hot and spicy.
Yeah, hot and spicy. What about that?
When she calling day and night, we could have differentiate the voice of the person I call, you know. We could tell the difference of the person voice I call day and night. And from hot and spicy, I listen read how long I know the difference of the voice.
Oh, when she did confuse pretty punchy voice. Okay, yeah. I mean, it was a teen. It wasn't even close.
She herself, she confused enough. I know times she call in and she can explain herself and, explain something. She twists and tie up herself sometimes. She does.
Oh, hot and spicy? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, beat her. All right, Papa.
So I change her name from tonight. I'm not hot and spicy. I flop and not spicy.
Flop and not spicy. Okay, all right. To not beat hot and spicy. All right, now say a word here.
HBK and the black yellow teen and too cute.
All right. Now say a word, man. HBK. All right. Big up yourself, man. I'm not going to say HBK. I'm going to say BK. It's easier. All right?
My brother.
All right. Respect BK. Yeah, man. Okay, let me see how now. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hi. Do you hear me?
Yes.
You're hearing me, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I have something to say to you.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple days ago, I received a call from an acquaintance. It's not a friend. It's somebody from way back high school. Anyway, he now lives in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got on the phone, I could tell he was real happy. He was like in a real good mood. And I'm like, oh, so what's up?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, all these girls keep throwing themselves at me. Mind you, I said from high school, right? So this person is in his 50s, right? Jamaican, 50s.
Right.
Okay. So he was like, all these young girls that keep throwing themselves at me and blah, 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 and just going on and on. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, young girls throwing themselves at you. What are you talking about? He's like, all these little 17-year-old girls keep throwing themselves at me, and, I'm going to go for it. I'm like, what? Okay, so you called me with
Did he
this
say
for
that he
what,
was going to go for it?
validation?
He said he was going to go for it?
Yes.
Hold on,
yes.
and this is the first time you're talking to this person for years and years and years, a long time?
Well, no, I wouldn't say for years and years, but it's been a while since we talked.
Right.
But usually when we talk, we don't talk. We you get on the phone, hi, how you doing, and then we don't chit chat like that, right? But it was just so strange that he would call me and talking like this, and I'm like, what are you talking about, And he's like, yeah, these young girls over here, they keep throwing themselves at me, and I'm just gonna go for it, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, are you seriously calling me and telling me this? And of course, I was triggered because of past experience and stuff with older men and young girls, whatever. And so I'm like, you know what? You really need to think about what you're saying and what you're doing, right? And he's like, you need to get off your moral ass or horse, because...
No, so hold on. The ages that he was referring to is, did you say 17?
16, 17-year-old girls.
And he's in his 50s? No, that man has a problem. That man has a problem. Yeah, that man has...
Yes.
You shouldn't even say him need to be careful. You should tell him that, this is a little disturbing. You should have tell him.
but yeah, as we talk, I really wanted to get off the phone, but I wanted to hear what he had to say too, right? So he went on, and of course he turned it around on me because no, I'm just too, I have all these morals, and I'm trying to, tell him that what he's doing is wrong and all this kind of stuff. And he just kept going on, and he started getting a little bit graphic. And I said, you know what? I'm going to cut the conversation right now. And I hung up. And then I blocked him, right? But you know what I discovered? I was just so curious, and I went on Google, and he lives in Germany, like I said. The age of consent in Germany is 14 years old.
Oh, well.
14 years old.
In other words, it would be legal for him, a 50-something-year-old man, to be with a 15 or 16-year-old girl in Germany?
Yes. But coming from our background and, Jamaican, I'm like, yeah, big man, what are you doing that? Those little girls.
That's
but he was.
That's the stance I would tell. Like, as a Jamaican man, despite it being food, do you still feel comfortable doing? You're 50-something-year-old man, you're going with a child, and let's be honest. You have, unfortunately, you have cultures where. They married females at 9, 10, and 11, 12. And
I know.
And it's okay in a film culture because that's their normal. But I would still hold that if a man is a Jamaican, born and raised in Jamaica.
Right.
That if you're in your 50s, not care what the culture say, I would firmly suggest to that man that do not go and be dating any teenagers, right?
And that's what I was trying to get him to understand, but he was so, fixated on, you must sit and body, and the body look good, and then look like this, and look at, you don't know what these white girls over here look like, and, they would put, these black girls to shame. And he was just going on and on and on, so I think it's almost like a sickness.
Yeah. There's, and again, everything is relative, but it sounds to me that there's some sort of perversion going on there with him. And
yeah, exactly. But I just thought it was kind of sick, just being, him being Jamaican and 50-something years old and, going after some little 17-year-old girl. It was just disturbing. So I just wanted to share that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, man, thanks for that one there. Yeah? Even though I consider it, I also consider it disturbing, but thanks for sharing it.
It is.
Yeah, man, blessings, man.
All right, cool. Bye-bye.
876-676-4996, 876-676-4996. And, I haven't been given the U.S. number. 888-546-8742. That's if you're calling from the United States or Canada. 888-546-8742. 888-546-8742. 888-546-8742. Okay. All right. Yeah, some people sending in. By the way, the email is ragashanti@gmail.com. Ragashanti@gmail.com. Yo, Mitzi, big up yourself, And big up yourself, Ray. You know me attack? Ray. All right, Mitzi Bird. Big up yourself, ratings and respect. My email address is ragashanti@gmail.com. Ragashanti@gmail.com. So somebody sent me a thing, man, regarding Jamaica, no longer the prospect of Jamaica no longer having the British monarchy as the head of state of the country. I think you see what happened in the Caribbean, you know. For a long time, there was this thing between people over in the British Virgin Islands and as which other countries is it Cayman? We still have I think in Cayman. I know in Cayman their nationality, like before Brexit, I had friends there who were part of the European Union, you know, and whatever. So, but anyway, some of these other Caribbean islands that never got independence, they would laugh at us, at Jamaica, like Jamaica and a couple of countries got independence and say, you see how on a runway and about to go and get independence and thing, and look how now suffer under them the terrible debt there, and can't travel certain place, and restricted, you know, now the movement and economic hardships, and the economic hardships lead to, you know, socio-cultural hardships and da-da-da-da-da-da. And they're like, yeah, I want to love run come our island. Why? Because, you know, we're better over here. They usually argue, you know. And their thing was, you know, Britain can't go and think said them run we, them rule we. We know them not rule we, but for practical and economic purposes, you know, we not run to get no independence right now because the way of the world set up, our little island and whatever, we can't compete. We don't have the resources to compete with them big country there and whatever to compete on the global market space and things. And I'm all that say, yo, we're not going to want no independence because economically it better for we. And psychologically, them can't rule we. So as long as them know, say, I know, like back in the day when we are your colony, you can't come this and that way. So that is the argument them always make. I say, una run go get independence and watch it. Una suffer now and una deep in a debt and, you know, the money where the country make more than half of it if you have service debt one owe to, you know. So there was always this debate out there. And within that context of them argument there and thing, you know, Jamaica once was in a position where you couldn't make some argument like that, you know, even if you say no, you know, being independent, like the psychological benefits of being independent and no longer under the monarchy is just so much more valuable, you know, not only in terms of the collective psychology, but in a practical way, and when you feel proud of yourself and you're self-defined and all these things and whatever. But back in the day, when Jamaicans could travel to England freely, you could say, well, there's a benefit right there. England cut out that, right? We had preferential trade agreement with England with banana and some things and whatever. They would buy our banana first. Them things don't exist anymore much to, you know, whatever. So what I'm saying is, I am not privy to these things to know how much it changed or whatever, but I know a lot of the benefits we had from being in the Commonwealth, that we no longer have those. Not only that, we very often are not treated with respect, you know, in a them country and thing like that. You know, look where going with look what happened with the Windrush people in England and whatever. It's just awful. Awful. So I'm saying is, give it out there. Again, I'm not qualified to speak fully on whatever benefits we might be deriving from being a member of the Commonwealth and retaining the British monarchy as our head of state, you know, with the Governor General as a representative of said monarchy. I don't know the details of all this thing, but given that, you know, Britain itself, the UK, has eliminated enough of those benefits that we used to have. Like, what is the practical purpose of maintaining the monarchy as head of state? What's the benefit? What is the benefit? I am not sure there is any benefit there. But that being said, 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Even if we get rid of the monarchy, is Jamaica at a stage where we can make that mean something? Because we can't get rid of the monarchy and it's neither a year nor a day for Jamaica or whatever. You know, if getting rid of the monarchy can result in some sort of significant psychological upliftment on the part of the populace and thing, and you know, and that can redound to, you know, a resurgence of the vim and vigor where make we so proud of ourselves that we start accomplishing all kind of things and whatever, you know, with a kind of leadership, you know, that would exploit that to say, no, we no longer have the monarchy right now, so, you know, we have no one right now, we're going to grow here now and thing. That leadership is not in Jamaica, you know. That leadership is not in Jamaica. Well, it's not in the formal leadership of Jamaica, and it was never a priority in Jamaica. Because, sadly, you do have a merchant class, a private sector class, a business class of people who benefit from the residual colonial structures that still exist in Jamaica. And what I mean by that? Jamaica is not a poor country. But the people who control the wealth in Jamaica, part of the reason them control a significant amount of the wealth is because certain structures were did set in at the colonial time, them still there Jamaica. Them not like when you talk about it, but it's the truth. Right? It's the truth. The really, really, really wealthy in Jamaica, they are descendants from you know, the white ruling class from our colonial past. Them not like when you load it up, but it's true. Then you had a merchant class that they were fleeing persecution from all over the world for a long time ago. And you know, and they came to Jamaica just as how they went to South America and all these places. And they too enjoy a higher social status than the black majority of Jamaicans. They too benefit from a political economy established in colonial time and still exists today. They don't want that to change. And the way the things set up in Jamaica, you have all these, you know, it's changed a little bit, but it's most of the, you know, black educated people who try to get in political leadership, but that political leadership is dependent on the money and the capital and the wealth from that same private class. So you have this type of game that is played where the black political leadership have to please the private class, you know, that is more light skin and white and whatever, and them really show up themselves, you know, people, but you only have to look on page 2 in the Observer sometime and see some party where I keep a Jamaica and you see be white people and they're all Jamaicans and you're like, this is Jamaica? Yeah, it's Jamaica. Yeah, right? And them dead and them keep a low profile and they want to maintain the status quo. They actively ensure they maintain the status quo. You know how much black Jamaican business people want go in a business in a certain sector and they are kept out, pushed out, squeezed out. In some, you know, some structural ways, a lot of foolishness going on in Jamaica, you know, we still have its foundation in our racist past. Them people don't want it change. And people don't want it stay just as how it is. When the political party, them a campaign and whatever, you see a hang off of the bus, them and all. Be a black people, be a ghetto people and thing. And then pay them for going on the bus and them in them green and them in them orange and whatever, this and that. and thing. And then when one party win, them say, yo, John, I give you one contract for clean up the street. And then John go get 10 people from the community, and then them cut the grass and thing and clean up the road and whatever, and them get the money, and them say, our party in a power, money around now and whatever. That is not the real money. The real money, the people them who I make a real money, them not hang off on a bus when election are run. Because them run things with them money. So when the black people them are going to political leadership and whatever, they need the rich people them money for run. The rich people them understand it. The rich people them understand them power. They know that they have investment there will have its foundation in hundreds of years, and them no want to change that. So it is in their interest to keep the money where it there. Because while them now run for political office, they want the people who are run for political office for need for them money. Because once them need for them money, they now have the influence now for say, well, you know, I know you want, you know, we want to help, you know, but you know, we're considering a little venture over so and thing like that, and we're just wondering if we could put some legislation in place to support this thing, because we want to have a chain of hotels. You know, I saw the thing work. Them now want to change, and they have actively worked to make it change. Right? I remember when a certain rum company did want to start and a beer fight them get and whatever, and all kind of regulatory hurdles and thing, and people like, you know, squeeze them out and push them out and whatever, and because the people them who control the rum thing at Jamaica, them don't want the rum thing expand too much. We don't want to go see too much in the camera, nobody come beat me. Right? So me just give you a sense how I go on. The same thing they go on with the hotel thing and whatever. When certain people want to break in at the hotel thing, and certain people are keep out certain people, and thing a big war start. But certain people didn't manage to break through anyway. But even the person who didn't manage to break through just happened to be white. And the people who did a fight against him, them white too. And them end up in a one long drawn out war and thing between them family and thing, and you know? Right? You have a certain family in Jamaica, and if I don't know about this, one of them him did go marry somebody outside of the family. Because the same thing when them do in England, you know, to keep the wealth in, you know? Right? The same thing when them doing at the British monarchy to keep the wealth in. No for that going to Jamaica too, you know. Yeah, man, you have rules and marry. You don't go marry, man. You know. A grandson of one of the well-known, rich, long-standing family in Jamaica who they're white. And him said, my grandfather is racist. Well, I was a lecturer at the University of the West Indies. And him said, my grandfather is racist. He's very racist. He don't like black people. Somebody said, don't like black people, like black. Him said, don't like them at all. And him said, we were told that we must never marry outside of their ethnicity. Now, to be fair to him, what he was explaining is not only don't marry black people, but, you know, for a long while, there was a bit of a tension in Jamaica, you know, between Jamaica have a very strong Jewish community, and it also has a very strong Lebanese community that most people say Syrian, but it's mostly Lebanese. And, you know, and there are certain divisions will go way back to England to where, you know, like when England and Northern Ireland did have them long-standing conflict or whatever, but, you know, for hundreds and hundreds of years, you know, England was considered, you know, the elite beast of what was Great Britain, and more commonly called the UK. And the English have, you know, they have hundreds and thousands of wars, whole heap of wars over the centuries where England became the ruling power, right? King Charles, who was Prince Charles, he was a Prince of Wales. they just handed it to his son, William. So William is now the Prince of Wales. The Welsh people, you have people up in Wales who, them say, we are back in the day when them are war in England, some 12 something, yeah, 12 something. But, you know, like we say, 2022 or 1967, in a 12 something, when for them war are going, one king of England, I think it was King Edward, kill the one where over Wales, over Wales, kill the one and say, are we around the thing? And then make one of him family the Prince of Wales. And that passed down for hundreds of years come down to now. People are showing all the thing deep, you know. So now that time Lizzie dead and King Charles rise up now and him a king now, him honor of the Prince of Wales to William. And that just kind of kick off back a thing now with some people over in Wales. I say, yo, don't call him the... In 2022, don't call him the Prince of Wales. He's not the Prince of Wales and thing and whatever. But I just assure you, say, you have these systems put in place to ensure that wealth is kept in certain circles, and then, you know, influence and power also, you know, is kept in certain circles and things, because William becoming the Prince of Wales, one property him getting, just one property where him getting, valued at more than $1 billion, you know, people, that is not by accident, you know, there's a structure in place. And that structure, there are certain things in terms of, you know, in terms of continuity to maintain and sustain that structure to their benefit. And I'm just saying that Jamaica has its versions of that. And it's not something we're supposed to talk about. Because I can guarantee you may have a couple of people listening to me right now and calmly saying, who is that young man? Who is that? Who is that? We don't necessarily want him talking about those things, you know, because next thing you know, these things get infectious and that will threaten our interest. You know, and I'm looking at something in it. So when I see people kill up themselves over Lizzie and thing, and them don't know the sophisticated public relations marketing machinery that was behind the Queen, that made sure that when you see her, yeah, she smile and she look docile and she looks so sweet and just so nice. And them always I take picture with she and her little corgis, them, you know, the little dog, them and things. So there is this manufactured and controlled image to present her as this nice, sweet old lady, lovable. Nice, sweet old lady. If you say to her, say, listen, this diamond, you know, people were raped and killed and it was stolen from the biggest diamond in the world from South Africa. You're going to return it? No. This other, tell me, you know, India it come from, you know, them kill and rape and whole heap of people and think you're going to return it? No. Lizzie said no. Lizzie, at least, just apologize, no? Just say you're sorry. Nope, not saying we're sorry. The same sweet, docile little lady there with our corgis, them and whatever. And I don't hate her. I just said there is a reality there that cannot be ignored. And a lot of people are ignorant of it because it's not taught in school. And I saw you have people that love somebody like she and them and whatever this and that, again, which is part of a structure, a system set up and designed for maintain wealth and power in a certain circles. And that's a macro level thing there with the monarchy. But we have our Jamaica as its local version of the same similar structure there, you know? By the way, this is not the new I'm saying. This has been around for whatever. These things are not taught in school. And yet you have all these people, make them hear one dancehall song with whatever. Do you see that a tear down the nation, that this and that and what that a tear down the nation? Oh, please. One if we really teach, but who are really a tear down the nation and who are really a hold down the Jamaican people, them not teach them something. I don't hate nobody, you know. I don't want nobody thinks to me hate anybody. I don't want nobody thinks to me hate anybody, right? You know. But out of many one people and we are one nation and we are what? We were never one nation. Never. That's what them threw out there, you know. Again, that's a part of the marketing thing and whatever, and people buy into that and whatever, and people are kept in ignorance about what really are going on and where the money there. You think Jamaica poor? Jamaica not poor. Jamaica one of the richest countries in the world. I just who control the money and all the things set up. Years ago, there was this big thing about the 21 family were control more than 80-something% of all of the money where Jamaica make. And that did get out and thing, and after a while, them just slowly kind of just no make that talk about, you know. You know how when me learn about the 21 family, America me come learn about it and thing. And I say, no go so, I tell the person, whatever. When me call some scholars down at Jamaica, and them say, yeah man, it's true and whatever. So I'm saying, but why don't teach these things in schools? And they're like, nope. But when youth graduate from one college down there and him go start to the you know, him get a graduation speech and him said to the student, and big up on a big clot self. Mirated. If you hear the people see there that destroy the country and ray and blah blah blah, them lose them their mind. Distraction. Aye boy. I'm going to look a break soon forward. Well, the break, Sean. Ragashanti live. Ragashanti live. All right, back in our juggling and things and on a call, you know. Hello.
Hello, Raga.
You know, it's a beer nice in your phone right now.
Hold on, I'm a remote now look for. Alright, sure. Alright, you know. Yo, man, you turn on the radio there. Yo. Pianta. Yes, Raga.
Yeah, a beer breeze are blowing on your phone, you know.
Why, alright, me lock you off now.
You lock off your breeze?
Yes, because you know, say it's blowing at the phone.
At the fan you attack, at the fan are blowing a beer, you have to lock, you have to, them move it from the fan.
Why move from the fan, Raga?
Oh, you probably not in a space to move, all right, lock off the fan. Wagwan.
Yeah, what's up, man? What's going on?
Who this? Alien?
No, this is Missy E again.
Oh, this is Missy E. So this is Missy Alien? What are we here laugh? I was sweet you. I was sweet you so, eh?
Hey, I mess you up there and I call you. You couldn't know say I'm here in the fan. Alien that you know, but you know, but it's kind of you might tell me, you know.
No, but hold on. I want to tell you, I think it was Robert Blackwood and thing, but now man, several people pick up right away, you know. And at them, I see post and I say, yo, alien, Raga, alien, that thing or whatever. So, I'm not going to lie at them, I know because them know your voice. And so I ask him back, I say, alien, this, and you're like, no, I'm Missy E. So when you come out, Mr. BB, you know, say, alien that a while ago, we had chat to whatever.
Yes.
Think you easy. Walk one.
Raga, yes, Raga. Me not lie, Raga. My vex, bad Raga.
Bowa.
Anyhow, we never take independent, Raga. 6 years, Raga, Jamaica with a Jamaica with a sweet reggae. People like that get for travel, move up and down. You understand me? I say people that get for move and go all over the place.
Oh, and so what you say? We shouldn't did get independence?
No, reggae, we shouldn't. But you get it and want to it. You know see?
Hold on. So we not benefit from it. We not benefit from it.
Which part? But reggae, we not get nothing from it. Reggae.
Okay.
Have you, if you have a worker, you work them for them for 20 years, how much years? And you leave. Them, you know, they all get some money from them. We don't get nothing reggae for 400 odd years. So
what you say? We should have been like Cayman and them country there and British Virgin Island and would have nice, you know, though. And that you say?
Yes, reggae and Bermuda. Look on them places, reggae. Violence so there them places, reggae. Because the people them can't travel. The people them can't go to England, Europe, and America and all them places there.
So just to be clear, you're saying it's a mistake Jamaica the government can't get the independence?
Listen, all you mean is a mistake. I mean, and Jamaica take independence, and Buster go take it.
Well, Alexander Bustamante, yes. So what you say about that now? What you say?
At them calling Buster, you know. And me don't know where them tell Buster one bag of foolishness and he must get some farmer money too.
Well, you said them give Buster money if he run the independence. Is that your thing?
What you mean?
No, well, probably that is.
Rather, them want get we after them back. That means that them not have to respond fully and take care of we no more. You understand? And we not even with them no more.
No, hold on. There is some truth to that. That part of the reason why the UK gave was open to some country getting independence is because the money and the wealth where them used to make out of them country, they weren't making it anymore. So them never want the obligation of to take care of them to a certain level and whatever. So that was part of it for you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, brother, we should never take
So hold on. All right. Even though you disagree with that, tell me some of the ways in which Jamaica benefited from being independent in 1962 and we are celebrate 60 years. Tell me one or two ways, even though you disagree, tell me one or two things where you think, say, boy, we benefit, independence make we benefit so and so and so. Tell me.
Benefit what? Me not see nothing, Raga.
You not see nothing?
Me not lie, no.
Nothing at all?
Raga, me not see more than poverty.
So hold on. What about like we have our own flag and when you see and win race, we can wave our own flag on them something and be proud. So we are what about them something?
Listen, them something that they leave. Listen, Raga, them still around the place, Raga, them are talk about Raga, and them around the world. Over there when the Queen is there, them say how much place. Them say how much place. As she control how much commonwealth place and all them kind of things there. A whole country that them around the world. Yeah.
Well, yeah, she won a massive amount of real estate and thing. The Queen, one of the richest persons.
Them wicked too, man. Them wicked, rather them. Rather.
Then if hold on. Then if they're wicked too, why you did want still? Why? Well, if they're wicked to it, me not understand it. If they're wicked to it, why you that one we never get independence?
Because them shouldn't let me go.
What you mean them shouldn't let you go? That don't ever sound right. Then if them are holy and thing and whatever, and then let you go, what wrong with that?
Raga, would it been free already, Raga?
Oh.
It's not like so we never free. Slavery did done, Raga.
Oh.
When them take slavery in a 62, the place nice. And people just get to go foreign and I know about.
Oh, okay.
And you used to have a lot of people you step about England, you know.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Come back
yeah,
and then build up them house and them carry them family with them.
That's true. That's true.
Brother, you say, it's me what was a British.
Yeah.
I'm there, America, and them addict me.
Yeah.
They would have what them Them would have asked me which part I want to go. If I want to go England, I want to go Jamaica.
The fan still are blowing their phone, you know, man.
Come here, my youth. Come fix the phone here. The phone are blow, my youth.
The phone are blow, the fan are blow.
My youth, come look out the fan, you know. Come fix the fan for me.
Make a point there quick. Make we see if we have another.
On the TV, to a mother listening.
Yeah, on the TV, I make nice to. Are your TV or a people TV? A borrow TV you have?
No, Raga, my TV, Raga. You can't, want a bigger one, though. You can't buy my one.
I could buy you a TV. What size TV? What size TV you have? What size TV you have?
What size me have?
Yeah. You know, so I don't like ask people question and they answer back a question because I'm trying to answer back a question, they might buy time for some gin and chip. And the way you ask, I say, what size TV you have here, you know? What size me have?
Around 42 or so.
Around 42 or so?
Yeah, around 42.
Okay, so if I buy you a TV, you know, what size TV you want me buy for you?
What size?
Yeah.
Is that right, Raga? Just know you can't buy any size. It no matter. I like how beg me a beg.
Nah, man. Ilian, no man. Deal with me, no man. Like, me just want to know, like,
Raga, please, Raga, leave me alone because I don't like one time. Not now go on like one time, Raga.
Ilian, hold on. Ilian, are you used to run far, you know? We are talking about, they wouldn't know the rule, we don't know the 100. Just cool, man. When me I say, like, first of all, I don't want you to tip me at this, you know. But you have any space for your while for one bigger level TV?
Of course, Raga.
Oh, okay, all right. So when I say, what size TV you talk about?
Next size TV, what I'm going to buy, one of the 70-inch.
70? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, up there, sir. And the one that you are going to buy?
Yes.
Then if you are going to buy it, then I don't need to buy it for you then.
It's all right, Raga. Raga, listen, Raga, the Rasta man, them down here, Raga.
Yeah.
Them say them want to go back to Africa, and them want to patriate and go back to Africa. No for them attack the argument there. Them born in Jamaica, you know, but them say them are African.
Yeah.
So what them are worried about independence and the Queen and monarchy business and them things there. Them just go on Africa.
Oh, me see what you say. So if them a say them live in a Babylon and Jamaica, I know them real home, but Africa, them real home. Them not for worry about what go on at Jamaica then with the Queen or nothing. Them for just leave that alone and go on to Africa. That you say.
Exactly. Listen, the one of them are kill the Queen and I talk about the Morocco. And the one of them are run go England and them love England like wow.
Who are run go England? Which Rasta you see are run go England?
The one of them, everybody want to go all over the place.
Hold on. Let me tell you a story though. So, me go Ethiopia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And me go down to Shashaman, yeah, and me talk to Rasta from there. Me talk to a gentleman, him named Desmond Martin, you know. Right? He come from 12 tribe. 12 tribe, they have one thing when them chump up money and them send one people for repatriate, go Ethiopia when Selassie they get land. And him was the fourth one we go, him named Desmond Martin. When me go look for him, it was I must have 5 years ago or 4 years ago me go look for him. But when me go Shashamani and me see him. And at that time, him there for 40 years straight.
Mm-hmm.
Doing well, nice house and all these things and whatever. And but him a tell me, say, and him love Ethiopia, you know, nowadays. So him a tell me, say, yo, enough Rasta from down at Jamaica. Them burn out Jamaica and burn everybody and say, Africa, me say, Ethiopia, me say, and Ray. Hold on and think, say, him give me a story, you know, and think one man who him say, oh, Africa, him say, and this and that, and Ray. So him say, when him drop a eat, what kind of nice that I'm making iPhone alien, man. Move it from the TV, no, man. I read the pan, man. You're going like you want mash up my show. Mash up my show.
Yo, start the
so what?
No.
Yeah, so what me I say is, him say enough Rasta come over there and say Africa, but when them come over Shashamane, because no big lugs, you know, they are Shashamane, you know, no holy part. So him say, him a tell me true. Him a say, listen, enough Rasta come here, you know, and cut and go back and then can't manage it, you know. So he might give me one story. He might give me one story about what he might say, him did loud and burn out everybody and I say, all them boy that run go America and I run go England, them are idiot. And Ray, and I say, Africa, I say, last year. And him say, when the brother come and dead and thing and, you know, and the reality lick him and thing and whatever, him say, like several days after, him asleep. So, him hear one look a sound in the night, you know, like about 3 o'clock in the morning. And when him look at the brother that, you know, the Rasta man who burn out everybody who go England and Canada and America and whatever, you know, and say, and him say, the man, and he pick up him back and he say, he see him take time, tip to and go. He say, when him hear back from him, at Jamaica reach back and think and whatever, this and that. Maybe he tell us something. Me go Ethiopia, I tell people something like Ethiopia, I study it and them something there and whatever. But me not living there. I'm not afraid for talk. Well, you know where I'm gonna live? I'm gonna live in Ghana.
Okay.
Me like Ghana. But me not in the romanticization of Ethiopia. Ethiopia, listen to me. Life not listen to me, man. You think Ethiopia wonderful and thing and you have some things that are going over the right now, you know, with the so I kind of hear what you say with some of the Rasta them who about Africa, and you like, you better be careful of your talk because you probably can't manage it.
I can't manage it, Raga. I can't manage
it. No, me I talk about the one them watch about them want to go Ethiopia, them want to go Shashamane and thing or whatever. Me I said they better be careful because enough of them attack and I just one bag attack and if the reality reach them probably can't manage it. Yeah.
Raga, listen, Raga. You say if we did ban Africa, Raga, we'd have dead already.
What kind of foolishness you attack, alien? Why you going to say that? Why you say that? No?
All right, listen why my sister, Raga.
Why?
Because what we bad, which was in Africa, what we the bad, appear war and warrior and king and all kind of things. And we have to go stand up and fight, and we have to go be chief. I know some of them man all Muta and them. Me know them, you understand, them would have be some form of chief and all them kind of things there.
Well, you say Muta would have be a chief?
Yes, and Sizzler the whole of them.
And Sizzler too, Muta and Sizzler.
And Capucan and the whole
and Capucan. What you say, them would have be chief, them would have be leaders. What Stephen Golden would have be? Bruce Golden's son. Stephen, what him would have be?
He would have be something too.
He might be something
Raga, I'm tell you something, Raga. You see, all who born in Jamaica, this born here. But all the things set, all them do the things.
No, but listen, you see what you are saying about how that be a war and what, that is not true, here. War then, because you have, you know, conflict between ethnic groups and them. But no, that is not true. No. You can't just say any other born in Africa would have dead long time because of be a war in Africa. That is a stereotype. So don't say that about Africa.
True. No, Raga, no.
Listen to me, man. Listen to me, no, man. Me go Africa. Listen to me, no, man. Listen to me. I tell you. Listen to me. Me go Ghana. Let me tell you something, man. You have some peaceful place of Ghana. Nice people. Nice, peaceful. And this is Ghana. We go through the Gideon and thing and whatever. So,
what about in a today year? What about the part of African where them have fight and kill them one another?
But listen to me, hold on. Look, we are going in the United States of America and whatever. I be a fighting and killing and one another going. So you don't see that too.
Raga,
you don't see that too.
Raga, I know Raga, but them place the different Raga. Raga, we have to go stand up and fight for our community.
No, me not like how you just do that negative thing upon Africa and I go and like say, like, you know, you have to be careful of that. Me not like that, man. You have to dress up your talk with that, alien. Dress up your talk with that.
All right then.
Look like I really need a TV if you see, you know, the developed parts of Africa and some beautiful, you know, progressive parts of Africa. And be careful on it. Yes, Africa. You know, say, China Russia, the United States, the United Kingdom, and several other countries can all in Africa. Yeah, the world map where you see Africa, you know, they make Africa smaller, you know, and make them other place bigger, you know. Right? You understand? So be careful when you just say Africa. Africa is a diverse continent with whole heap of people and different sitting there and whatever.
That.
So you can't just appear to look a broad brush for one entire continent and thing and whatever.
Them say a 54 country in Africa.
Listen to me, what I'm trying to tell you, I see it what there, you know. Africa big and diverse. A whole heap of something that go on. You can't just make some look one statement about one entire continent.
I know that, Raga, because I love to go Africa state too. To go visit.
No, hold on. Stop say Africa. Say that look. Which country in Africa you don't want to go?
Any one of them, it don't matter. That's why I say Africa.
Well, you have to be careful because, I'm going to be honest, some safer than some. Some safer than some, you know?
All right, so, see that me I tell you about.
So you can't just say you want to go any country in Africa. That is not a wise thing to say, right? What I want you to appreciate is that Africa have a whole bunch of countries, and the countries them even themselves, individual countries, them diverse and thing and whatever. There's great diversity there. There is so much to learn there. So Africa as a continent. And the countries in Africa, just like anywhere else, them have the good, nice place them, and them have some other place where, in a Jamaica, there is some places you can't go walk at night till gunshot will take you and people kill you, don't? And then you have some other place in Jamaica you can walk at night peacefully and thing in your house and all, whatever. It's the same thing in these countries in Africa. So be careful when you just use one broad brush and paint the entire country.
Raga, don't about that now. Listen, Raga, what I'm saying.
Talk quick. We have 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go before the show done. Talk quick. Yeah.
All right, now, listen, Raga, you see, all who born in Jamaica supposed to born here. You know why I said that, Raga? Me born here, Raga, right?
Yeah.
And Raga, I you not believe me, sir, Raga. I'm born with the map of Jamaica on my stomach.
You're born with the map of Jamaica on your stomach?
Yes, Raga.
Well on, on your belly?
Yes, Raga, from me, I look up, me, I tell them and them.
Well, I mean, I want to feel like me, this is, but you are telling me, say you born with the map of Jamaica top side, your chun.
Raga, the top side, my neighbor. You know, they're not top side, my chief. The top side, my neighbor.
Then your neighbor that over your chun.
That's how, yes.
So you born with Jamaica over your chun. Lord Jesus, God, or whatever. The Jamaica. Ilya, come on. Me have a chat here one other time. Call me back Friday. Me can't manage you. Me can't manage you right, you know. All right. But well, Ilya, before you go, let me tell you something. See me find it, yeah? All right. All right, Portugal. Listen, you see all these. Listen. All of them countries we can all in Africa, right? We all in the space of Africa. Listen, all of them can all one time. Portugal, Spain, France, Germany, Italy, Eastern Europe. Hold on, don't move there yet. India, you know India big. China and the United States and the United Kingdom. The whole of them country there can all in Africa. So, but the way them show you the world map, them tricky thing, you know, them distort it and lean it, you know, make you think that Africa smaller than them other country there, and them center so-called Western Europe with America to keep them their center. You understand?
54 country in Africa.
All right.
That means no.
All right. But anyway, big up yourself and big up Jamaica where the pioneer planting. All right.
All right. You to my brother. Big up all of my brothers and sisters from the east to the west to the north and to the south. Love no all.
All right, Missy E. Original. Them for no, don't. Anyway, people, big up on yourself, you know. They don't know, say, Friday we juggle again. And do remember, say, Friday afternoon, it's all about Free Up, the realest Jamaica talk show on YouTube. On which channel? Ragashanti TV. 1 o'clock US Eastern Time. 12 midday Jamaica time. With me, Ragashanti, Miss Cherry Washbelly. Right? So make sure you tune in. 12 o'clock Jamaica time. Jamaica people, 12 o'clock. Ragashanti TV, the channel name, over YouTube on Friday. And then in the night, we're right back us up on the Bridge 99 FM, 10 o'clock Jamaica time and things in. Big up on yourself, and be it good enough. What now use cake soap or whichever soap the soap up back on the ears and thing and wash the creases and all these things and whatever. And if the rinse water look brownish and things, soap up again, and wash off again until the water look clean and pretty and take care of yourself, soon Friday. Money.
Join Massey Pharmaceuticals and the Bridge 99 FM team at Ocean Coral Springs for the annual Pharmaceutical Society of Jamaica Conference. Under the theme, Pharmacists Promoting Health, Empowering the Nation. We'll be live